Were any other weapons discharged?
Go ahead.
Yeah, two quick questions. Number one, is there any other video of this? And number two, can you give us an idea how hopeful you are that this situation is about to end at the refuge?
There was another aircraft in the air. The video quality was much poorer than this quality. We picked the best video there is to show. What was the second question?
The second question, the situation up there, I know you're limited in what you can say. Is there reason to be hopeful that this standoff is nearing its end?
Our negotiators are working around the clock. As I indicated earlier, 9 people have left since the roadblocks have been established. We are hopeful that those negotiators will continue to be able to persuade others to leave the refuge.
Did Finicum or anyone else discharge their weapons?
That'll be determined in the course of the investigation.
How many shots were fired off again?
I don't know the exact term. Again, that'll come out in the investigation, but it's single digits.
Can you describe Finicum's action just prior?
Yes, as is seen in the video, he makes a movement towards the inside right panel of his jacket where there was located a loaded semi-automatic pistol.
But it appeared, Agent, as if his hands were in the air when he actually went down. Is that accurate?
I think the video speaks for itself.
Can we see it again?
The video is for public view and will be able to be downloaded on our YouTube channel.
How many times was he shot?
As I said, the shooting investigation should determine that.
Did agents fire at his vehicle before they shot him?
Lethal force was utilized as the vehicle approached the checkpoint, and of course, afterwards.
Will he be allowed to take pictures of Finicum's truck?
At this point, no.
You mentioned that he reached for his pistol. Did he actually draw the pistol, or was it still in his holster or whatever he had?
The shooting investigation is still ongoing, so that'll come out during
Were
that
there any
investigation.
OSP dash cams?
No, the video of the incident was what we provided.
Certainly not related to the video for a second. I believe he moved in once the checkpoint was moved to police center. We've been reports that there might be some sort of white flag shooting off of the tower. What kind of photo like that? Anybody can talk about that?
If that is true, the media will be the first to know that. We have not had that reporting yet, at least as of the last 30 minutes since I left.
You mentioned that OSP and FBI were together in this. Who fired the shots? Was it OSP or the FBI?
The Oregon State Troopers were the ones that fired their weapons.
Just to kind of, for clarity, what do you want the public to know in general when you see this video, you see the shooting? What's the takeaway?
Takeaway from it for me and for the rest of those who were involved in this operation during the last 3 weeks is first, that we did everything we could to bring this situation to a peaceful resolution. Second, as was noted in the video and as you'll see when you download that video again, that we waited a very long time, that we were able to get one individual out of that truck safely back and in custody, and that for a period of almost 4 minutes, while commands were being given, the occupants of that vehicle refused to comply with those commands. That law enforcement showed great restraint. Then when the vehicle then took off, you can see that it just about seriously injured a law enforcement officer as it barreled towards that barricade. And that based on the deadly force policies of both the FBI and OSP, deadly force was utilized in that situation.
Was there any less legal uses used on Finicum's truck?
As you can see afterwards, and as I explained in the video, those pops and sounds that, of course, no sounds in the video. Excuse me?
Just the flashbangs, that's all?
Flashbangs, sponge, projectiles which pierced the windows, and OC gas.
Thank you.
Would you talk about the demeanor of Ammon Bundy when he surrendered? Did he surrender peacefully? Were there any issues involving his surrender? Specifically about that.
All the occupants of the Jeep surrendered without incident, with no violence.
Was there any?
Go ahead.
Of the 4 people left in the refuge, what's the issue? What are their demands at this point?
I think you guys all know, since they've been posting it on Facebook and YouTube at every chance they get. Their latest is they want guarantees that they won't be arrested.
There is one that, in particular, that has a warrant?
I'm not going to comment on who has a warrant and who doesn't have a warrant.
Could you confirm that the law enforcement is physically in the refuge, even though there are people who are perhaps haven't left certain structure or a certain area?
There is no law enforcement in the refuge. There is law enforcement at the checkpoints.
Could I clarify one thing from the day all this happened? There had been reports, which I've never heard confirmed or not, that there was an offer made to the people inside the refuge, the remaining people after the events we saw here, that they would be allowed to leave, and if they left, they would be allowed to go free. With these arrests last night, some in the refuge are saying, well, the law enforcement officials broke their deal. Was there ever an offer like that?
Now, what specifically happened was, it took time to get the resources in place to put the checkpoints and establish the checkpoints both on the east, west, and south. During that period of time, there were people on the refuge in contact with FBI negotiators. And they were told to leave peacefully. There's never been and never would be any claim from the FBI or any law enforcement that there would not be any consequences to their actions. But that because we had nothing in place, had they left, they obviously would have been able to leave the refuge because there was no one there to take them to custody.
Why was the operation came out on Tuesday, not talking about the shooting, but the operation to secure the individuals on Tuesday as opposed to earlier?
In any operation, there's a group of leadership that's running the show, so to speak. And at this juncture, it appeared that those who would be in a leadership position would be off the refuge and traveling elsewhere. And we took the opportunity to effect the arrest at that time.
Why did you decide to show the video so quickly?
I think it's very important when comments, accusations, or various claims are made depicting a situation that we can prove or at least clarify are inaccurate, that it's incumbent upon us when we're able to do so to show that. There will be times, maybe in the future, when other complicating factors might inhibit us from showing a video 2 or 3 days after the incident. But in this situation, based on working with our partners here in law enforcement in the county, and of course through our channels at headquarters, it was determined that it was an appropriate time and that we could share that information with you.
Were you aware that this leadership group was going to be traveling to John Day that day?
They had posted it all over Facebook and social media.
2 more questions.
This was described as a traffic stop. Was there some sort of traffic violation?
No, not that, well, you know what, I don't know, there might have been, but that was not the purpose of the call, or the stop.
Could you just very briefly recap the series of events that that they pulled over and then they sped around? What was the distance between where they first were pulled over and how far they went to the roadblock before they went off the road?
You know, the exact distance I can't tell you. That's why we
Roughly.
actually show you the video. You can tell while I was reading this that a period of time went by and that they were traveling at a high rate of speed. And they had plenty of, again, they were stopped for well over 4 minutes. And then they chose, as I said 2 nights ago or last night, you know, actions have consequences. And the FBI and Oregon State Police tried to effect these arrests peacefully, as is evidenced by the fact that one individual in that white truck was able to exit and is currently in our custody. As that truck sped away, we again followed. We worked right on their tail. We were following them closely in an attempt to bring them to stop one more time. But as the video clearly shows, it was a reckless action that resulted in the consequences that you've seen here today.
Are all the people being charged with the same crimes?
At this point, yes.
Are there any indications of what Mr. Finicum was doing in that 4 minutes? Did he make a call or do you know anything about it?
That may come out in the shooting investigation at this time. We don't know. Thank you.
I have a couple